up, everybody?
What up, y'all?
Welcome,
Welcome back.
welcome. What episode number are we on at this point?
This is episode 9.
We put in a lot of work.
Yeah, we making tracks, laying
We
down
are.
the tracks.
Yeah, I am proud of you. I'm proud of myself, and it's good. It's cool. I feel like we're getting a lot more comfortable. I'm fidgeting a little bit less than I was the first time. I still am looking off in space, so I'll work on that when I'm talking.
Same.
But other than that, getting pretty comfortable, and it's been a fun ride so far, and excited to keep it going. And hopefully we have another good episode. It's just not as exciting as the past episodes have been for, I'm sure, what everyone knows as obvious reasons. So.
Yes. As everyone knows, this past Sunday, Kobe Bryant was in a fatal helicopter crash, which killed himself and 8 other people. And just even saying that, I haven't even said that out loud. It's just hard to put his name and any kind of end to it. So as pretty much everyone knows, like the sports world has come to a halt. Not only the sports world, but like the world in general. It's just hard to comprehend. Kim, you want to start about your thoughts?
Yeah, it is. And I think you have captured it beautifully, just saying the sports world has come to a halt, because it really has. If you turn on ESPN, ESPN2, if you check out the app, if you try to look at any type of sports, and so not just basketball at the professional and collegiate level, but soccer games, they've honored him. High school basketball games, they have been, honoring him. Women's basketball games, they've been honoring him. Professional football games, I know at the Pro Bowl, they have been honoring him. So the Grammys, right? So that's a night for music. And they were in Staples Center. And the first thing they did when they opened the show was, other than the opening performance, but the introductory monologue that Alicia Keys had, she included not only thoughts and comments, but brought out Boyz II Men, and they did a tribute, which really I was not ready for at that point, and really got me pretty upset again, because I had been upset earlier in the day, and kind of obviously not forgotten about it, but was trying to have a sense of normalcy, if you will, and I guess felt like if I didn't think about it too much, then maybe I didn't have to come to terms with it being real, and maybe it wasn't real. I even remember the next day I woke up and was hoping that I'd had a bad dream, and surely that was not right, and it turned out to be true. But I think really it speaks so much to the legacy that he has left behind, that he is transcending sports, and not just his own sport. A lot of what has been talked about him has been more than just his play on the court. In fact, most of what I've heard and the things that I've seen have more so been about the person that he was, the type of athlete that he was. And when I say that, I mean his drive. The number of times that I've either seen a hashtag or heard someone say Mamba mentality over the past 3 days, 4 days, including Sunday, I can't even count, because it just goes beyond what he did in his particular field. And then so much talk about what he's since done, since retiring. The thing that got me the most was learning that his daughter was on that flight with him. And then, of course, learning that there were other teammates of hers, so other 13-year-old girls who were on that flight, and their parents and people who had families that have been impacted equally as hard as Kobe's family has. But when I heard that his daughter was up there, I mean, that really just, I didn't think that I could feel any worse. And I found out that I could. Because to see them together and their relationship, and just how much he loved to be a dad to all 4 of his his girls. She's just the one we saw the most because she was interested in playing the game and studying the game. And so she really was drawn and attached to his hip, if you will. Mm. And so it was beautiful to see what he was doing in retirement, and not only just being a great parent, but advocating for women's sports. I remember seeing him at games leading up to the World Cup. And so when they're doing that circuit, and he was taking his daughters there, mm-hmm. and had become an advocate for raising the pay, had become an advocate for the WNBA. His daughter was very much interested in being a part of that. And so they were constantly at games. They were she wanted to be a UConn Husky, so they were at UConn games. I mean, he was really just getting so interested in so many different things. He was authoring children's books. I mean, there are just so many things that he was passionate about that went beyond just dribbling a basketball and shooting and scoring a basketball and being one of the greatest of all time to do it. He really, in my opinion, has left behind a legacy that says whatever it is that you decide to do, that you want to do, first of all, you can do it. Secondly, it's up to you if you're going to do it. And third, the success that you're going to have. Because if you put in the work and you're willing to work hard for it and make some sacrifices and have that Mamba mentality with what you're doing, there's nothing that you cannot do. It's just whether or not you're willing to work for it. And his work ethic is uncomparable, in my opinion. The way he came back from an Achilles injury, which is one of the most devastating injuries you can have as an athlete. So coming back and playing, and there's no need to go through his resume, but I mean, everyone knows what he did within the game. And I think the biggest thing for me was just seeing how people have been affected and impacted, reading the stories on social media. For the past 3 days, I cannot, well, especially on Sunday. On Sunday, I got on Instagram, I got on Facebook, could not scroll without seeing a post, right? It was every single post, whether it was someone I knew personally or a famous actor or a musician or an athlete, whoever it was that I was following, every single person had a post about him. And as the days have passed, maybe I can scroll a little more and have something in between, but they're still there. Mm-hmm. So to have that kind of life that you've lived and to leave that footprint behind speaks volumes about the man that I was about to say that he is, that he was. So it's been a rough few days for me.
Yeah. It's been really hard. I mean, for everyone who knows me, I am a Kobe stan. Like, there is no other way to describe. And just talking about him, it's really hard right now. And it's been hard for me to even talk to other people about it, but I feel like I should, just because how much he's meant to me. I mean, well, let's say I've been in love with Kobe Bryant since the 6th grade. He was my guy. He just knew I could count on him to bring it every night. I grew up in a Lakers family and just living and dying on each and every game and play. And like, you know me, Kim, I get into games. Like, I am emotionally vested. Like, I was like in 6th grade, just riding high, riding the lows. I just remember it so clearly. And just how he was just so, like, he was athletically like a freak. He was just so gifted. And especially like those early days, like he would just yam on you if like get out the way. And like he would just bring those moments. And it was just like, like my beginning of learning to love basketball and to love it more and to understand it. Like it was just at that nexus of it. And so like he was right there for, and it wasn't hard for me to fall in and buy into it. I just never took a game off. always gave his all, and you could tell that it meant something to him. And because it meant something to him, it meant something extra to me. And he could do no wrong. I will argue you to the end of the world about him. I had plenty of arguments at Duke
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
about Kobe, and after Duke, before Duke. And this, yeah, I mean, I just remember like just putting in the work. Like he would put in the work, like putting in the work against like the so-called Kobe stoppers. I remember that series when they were playing Portland and they were hyping up Ruben Patterson like he was going to be the Kobe stopper. And I was nervous. I'm like, oh, Kobe stopper, what are you going to do to Kobe? Man, I should not have been nervous
But he sure was.
because he killed them.
Exactly.
He killed them. And from that point on, oh, I can have faith in Kobe. Kobe is not going to back down from anybody. He did not care. Like, you could put your best on him and it's over. He gave it to everybody. He gave it to Bruce Bowen. He gave it to Shane Battier. May he rest.
Your daddy,
Shane got it all the time against the Rockets. He was playing for the Rockets. Against Raja Bell.
He did, though. He did.
He got it all the time.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's crazy you say that because I follow him on Instagram and he did his tribute post and he put a series of pictures and literally every one was Kobe just bringing it to him, like him trying to recover, stop Kobe's shot, stop Kobe's drive. And every single picture that he posted, Kobe beat him every single time.
Yeah, and it wasn't that he was playing bad defense.
It's Kobe.
It was just, it was just Kobe. Like and so, and Masked Mamba, just remembering that time when like he was just going crazy with that mask on, like he's like, like shit. Like he was playing some of the best basketball with that mask on. So just the memories, like, and just thank you for all the memories, for being that icon in my life that really helped me to love basketball. And I don't know if I would love it as much if there wasn't a Kobe Bryant, and just how it kind of brought, my family, like we are a basketball family, we are a sports family, but basketball for sure is like our thing. And so it's like part of the bond that I have with my brothers. And then like you said, after he retired, like I was cheering as hard for him when he won his Oscar, like as when he won all of his championships. And just, because I had a plan to ask him to the prom. Even my 6th grade year, I had made I wanted him to be my date. I was planning in the 6th grade exactly what I was going to do, the letter I was going to write to ask him to be my date to the prom.
That's that Mamba mentality, thinking ahead. See?
Yeah, I was definitely thinking ahead.
There you go.
And then he got married, and I was heartbroken. I was a heartbroken little girl. I was not going to lie. And just when we got the news on Sunday, that was like, I didn't think that anything could affect me that way. It was devastating. And just thinking about how devastating it was to me, I cannot imagine what his wife and his remaining daughters and his mom and dad, and because I stalked him so much, I know he had nieces that he was really close to and his sisters. And just thinking about them and all the other families, like this is what like a normal day for them. Like this is how they got around. So they just never thought that, those people wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
So just praying for them, for those families, just putting it out there in the atmosphere, hoping somehow that maybe they feel the comfort that we're trying to send to them. But yeah, Kobe is, he legendary, and it's hard to think of him not here, that he's like somewhere, he's outside of this reality. It doesn't make sense. Like people, like your legends don't die. Like you're supposed to be like still going to the All-Star games, represent for your generation. Like you see those guys on the sideline, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
like they. So you, it's just hard to think that him being so important to that fabric that he's not there, and just like how much he meant to the world is just crazy. Like how he just stopped the world,
literally.
and so it's still hard to process. Like I see the Kobe Bryant, I see like they have his 1978 to 2020, and it just doesn't cut. I mean, that's like that shouldn't be the end to his story. But I mean, if anyone who made the most of his life or what they had, he did, and I guess that's the way we all should be, to do the most that we can with what we can do, and don't accept anything less than success. So,
Mamba mentality.
mama mentality. So, thank you, Kobe, for all you've done for basketball, for sports, for the world. And we all know, like, he wasn't perfect,
Right.
but no one's perfect. But he was always striving to be better. So,
Well, and that's all you can ask for. We've all had our share of mistakes. A lot of us have the blessing of not being in the public eye for everyone to scrutinize and give their opinions about the decisions that we've made. But I would second that he was always striving to be a better person. And yeah, I know how much he meant to you. In fact, when we were just talking about it, that one of our college friends texted me, and that's how I found out. And the first person I thought about was you. You were the first person that popped in my mind because I don't know anybody who loves Kobe more than you do. And so I knew if it stopped me and broke me down in that moment, I couldn't even imagine what you were going through. And then to elevate it another time, what his family and all those people and the other families too are going through. So
yeah,
I would like to echo that sentiment and sending out the thoughts and prayers. And the other big takeaway from all of this is just it's something that we all know. I feel like, unfortunately, you live your lives and things move quickly, and not that you're only concerned about yourself, but you're just going through your day and thinking about the things you have to do. And so we very quickly forget until another tragedy happens. But life is so fragile, and we never know when it's our time to go, and it can be gone in a second. So to talk to the people, if you have beef with people, it's not worth it. Life is too
right,
short. Doesn't mean you have to be best friends with everyone, but there's no reason to go around with stuff going on between relatives and friends, and repair relationships that need to be repaired. Tell the people that you care about that you love them, let them know. Don't try to tell them and bring them the flowers at the funeral, right? Because they can't get them then.
right,
Tell your loved ones you love them while they're here. Love them and love on them while they're here. Hug them, kiss them. Just let them know while they're here, because, like you said, it was a normal day, and we never know when our normal day will be the normal day that they have, and we hope and pray that we never have one of those. But it happens every day, all the time, and so this is just a huge reminder to be respectful, be kind to each other, and to love one another.
yeah, yes. So, uh,
I know.
yeah,
Like, how do you? Yeah, I know.
how
How do
you
you
transition
transition?
from that?
I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know.
that's
I
hard.
don't know. I guess by
But
just doing it. But
yeah, but like, as we said, like Kobe had a big impact on everybody, and we saw that even like during the Super Bowl media day, like he was like the first question like people get interviewed about,
mm-hmm.
and everybody still had something to say. Like he was still like Richard Sherman and Patrick Mahomes and a lot of
Travis
other people
Kelce.
just had amazing to see the impact he had on people who he and how many connections he had. Like he had connections, like he was like mentoring so many people. Like he was just reaching out to people just because he thought of them. Like when Richard Sherman tore his Achilles, he reached out to him. Well,
Mm-hmm.
because he,
He knew. Yeah.
he knew what it was about. Yeah, and like we'll talk about tennis later. How he reached out to Djokovic and how like he was a mentor to him, and that's he's playing tennis. So, but yeah, Kobe loved all sports. He loved football, and I'm glad that he got to see his Eagles win. Before
Yes.
he passed. But so we do have a Super Bowl that's coming up, even though it's hard to.
As I say, apparently that's this Sunday.
Apparently this Sunday.
Heard much about it, but it's coming.
So it's coming up on Sunday, and yeah, it's a big deal. Okay.
Yeah, it's so weird and crazy because you usually have the buzz.
Yeah.
And I have oftentimes this week forgotten that this weekend is Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
But since it is Super Bowl Sunday, we should talk about the game and who we think is going to win. Really, at this point, I feel like I should just pick whoever you pick so that I have a chance to maybe end the year and be close, because we're going to run out of stuff for me to pick pretty soon, and I'm down 4-0, and you should just let me. Never mind. Don't let me win. I actually don't want you to do that.
Yeah, no.
You feel bad
we're going to pick. I think actually we're going to pick different teams for the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a close game, a good game.
I think so too. And I'll go ahead and say my pick because at this point I don't have anything to lose because no one expects me to win. You see what I'm saying? I have officially made myself the underdog, and it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to be in. Because as a Duke person, I'm usually not the underdog. I'm never the underdog. It's a tough spot to be in as the underdog. But I am going to go with Kansas City. And the main reason that I'm going with Kansas City is because of Patrick Mahomes. And I know that the 49ers have an incredible defense. But it is my thought that the offense will be too much because there are too many weapons, and there's not one thing or two things even that they can shut down in order to stop him from driving the ball down the field and scoring. So that's the reason. Now, on the other side, Kansas City's defense is it's just okay. But if they can figure out, which apparently a lot of people have been having trouble with, a way to slow down the running game at least a little bit and make Jimmy G have to do more with the ball, make them be more creative with how they're going to run their offense, have to force them basically to get other people involved. I think it just will put more pressure on him. And I trust Pat Mahomes more than I trust Jimmy Garoppolo. So for that reason, there's my essay answer. You have to support. Remember when you were in grade school?
You get your thesis and then
that's my support for my answer, and I'm gonna roll with Kansas City, and I hope that I can at least retire this season with at least one win. But I feel good about it because I agree with you. I think it's gonna be a close game, and it really is a toss-up. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna pick Kansas City.
All right, so
I'm at Mahomes.
Yeah. So I'm picking the Niners.
Disappointing.
And I'm picking the Niners because in no point in Super Bowl history has there been, if the opposing team came in with a top defense, they never lost the game. If your defense is better, the San Francisco 49ers have the best defense in the league. And so defense win championships. And like
I bought a ticket.
Offense does sell lots of tickets. That's for sure. And Pat Mahomes is another animal. He's containing his playmaking abilities is going to, I think, stretch the defense. But I think they have enough weapons on their defensive side to do that. At each position, they have an answer for all of the weapons that Kansas City has. They don't give up big plays. So that for that reason, I'm picking the Niners. I also think that the Niners offense is underrated to what people give them credit for, because it's not as flashy as Pat Mahomes, because no one is as flashy as Pat Mahomes. But I think Garoppolo has proven himself to be steady enough to take this journey on until to a championship. I mean, he and he has shown that when he makes mistakes, he doesn't. I mean, it doesn't affect him. Like he's thrown interceptions before, but he's also come back after those interceptions to lead his team down the field to a score, and he said it multiple times throughout the year. So he's been raised the Patriot way, so he has that DNA. And I think this environment is not going to be too overwhelming for him for like his first trip. And once again, the Niners have a great running tangent. I mean, so they have like two. Well, right now they only have two running backs, but they lost one in the championship. But just with that one, they were able to do a lot of they did a lot of damage. So I think the Niners have enough answers. They also have a lot of weapons on offense too that that Garoppolo has at his disposal, just in case they need to throw something in there to trip up the Kansas City. And I think they will have an easier time scoring than the Chiefs will. I think the defense, even though the defense of the Chiefs have gotten like consistently better throughout the year. Like they have progressed. We can tell the difference. I just feel like they've been against better defenses this year and came out on top.
I've never wanted you to be wrong more in my life.
I mean, and also I gotta hold it down for my brother, who's a Niners fan. So this is for you, Titus. This pick is for you. Hopefully, I can bring your wing in.
My pick is not for you. I want you and your sister to be wrongo because I really need a win this week. I need to pick me up. It's been a rough week, and I'm 0-4. I need a victory, okay? And so I'm going to be cheering hard. It's going to be crazy because I'm going to be cheering like I'm a
like you were born and raised in Kansas City.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I've been there one time, which is more than I can say for San Francisco. So, that's I guess
I've been to Kansas City. Well, flew around it. I guess
that counts. Yeah, no, I've been there and hung out for a few days when I was in law school. So, I think that's a pretty good reason, other than the things that I've said. But you make some valid points. May the best team win, and I hope it's mine.
Okay. I think it's gonna be a great game. I hope it's.
Yeah, I agree.
I love good Super Bowls. No one wants to see like someone get slaughtered in the Super Bowl.
No, it's not entertaining. It's like any game. Again, unless you're a true fan of that team, it's any sport. I don't want to watch. Well, I was going to give an example, but there's no need. I don't want to watch a team that I just have no interest in clobbering another team. Then I'm like, okay, well, I can turn. Now, it's my team. Hey.
Oh, yeah, it's the best, right?
Yes, it's different. So
I was just about to say something about Atlanta, but I'm not.
Oh. Yeah. Anyway, that's just kind of how I feel about it. And if it's not my team, I'm not interested. So since we have two teams that are not my team per se, I like players on both of those teams.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, and I'm excited for a good matchup. Hopefully, we'll get some good commercials out of it.
Yes. I mean, but I will say, last year was kind of underwhelming with the commercials.
Yeah. Past couple years, I feel like have been.
Yeah, it's been getting kind of bad. I mean, where's the creativity, people?
Yeah, maybe they'll rebound. I feel like now a lot of them are just dumb. Like they don't even make sense to sell the product. In my opinion, there are a lot of them that are just like, what?
Yeah.
Why? And then you just flash whatever it is at the end. It's like, well, that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be a rebounding year for the commercials, and hopefully we'll be entertained by the halftime show. We'll let that sit right there. And otherwise it should be a fun time. So. Well, look at you. I said just sit right there. You're not helping me.
I'm trying, Kim. You couldn't just let it pass over.
Just let it pass, not bring attention to it. Okay. So that's the Super Bowl. And you foreshadowed that we talk a little bit about the Australian Open. Do you want to give some highlights of what we've seen? I know that face. That's how I feel about it.
I know, right?
I'm going to say highlights because maybe there's some people who are fans of the people that are remaining. For me, it's a low light because my
Yeah.
people are gone. But if you'd like to give some highlights.
Well, I guess the highlight is that Djokovic is like running through competition like
Now
chopped
that's that's an
liver.
actual highlight. That's fair. Yep,
Yeah,
that's a real highlight.
he is definitely been the most consistent player and on the men's side for sure. And it looks like he's going to win that. I think his 17th Grand Slam.
And I think this will be his 8th Australian Open.
Yeah, so he's won more at the Australia Open than anywhere else, and it's showing. I mean, I guess it just agrees with him. They have a big match coming up, him and Federer, and they have like one of these classic rivalries. I would say I am a Joker fan. I just like him. He's just the underdog in the tennis world. Like they don't like him for some reason. The fans don't. And I like his style of play. I like his attitude. So.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy. He's an underdog and he's won so many Grand Slams, but I feel like people feel that way. And I like Federer too. I mean, I'd like to say that I'm fans of both, but then eventually they go up against one another and you have to pick one. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out of it. The match is going to be at 3:30 or either 3 a.m. Eastern time. So I will not be watching it. And then, of course, Federer had an injury during his last match and was able to, despite that, he took the injury time out and fought back from, I think it was 7 match points.
He was down 2 sets. So he was on the brink.
And so he turned on the greatness and figured out how to come back and win that. So I think it'll be a fun match. It'll be interesting to see how much recovery he's had for that injury and if that impacts him at all, because if it's going to impact him at all, I'm definitely going to give a huge margin of victory. And by that, I don't necessarily mean the scoreline, but just that highly favored to win. I think it'll be a little tighter if his injury has healed up some and he doesn't have any lingering issues from that. But if he's going to be slow stepping or be behind a little bit, I mean, Joker's going to eat that up.
Yeah.
So that'll be.
And most of the times, those matches between those two are kind of like chess matches and mostly like mind games. So that's one of the interesting things to watch. So if Joker can keep his focus, because lots of times while he plays Federer, he kind of loses focus a lot sometimes. So I hope he has his head on straight and ready to finish his business, because after this, it's wide open. For him to just go ahead and close it out real sweet and easy. But on the women's side, who cares? My girl Serena had one of the earliest bounces out of a Grand Slam match in her career, which I was not expecting. I think her record against Chinese players is ridiculous. So I didn't think that she was gonna lose it because they don't have the power to match her. So so mostly she could just overpower the most Chinese players. But this one, I watched that match and the girl had skills. I will say and I think Serena had a lot of unforced errors. It's just like having 15 turnovers at halftime and then expect to win a game.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. Not most times, but she can. She's done that before.
Just didn't happen this time. And that's what she said. I mean, she talked about all the unforced errors and talked about that she felt it was unprofessional of her even to play the way that she played. So she recognized that she did not play well, and she owned that and acknowledged it. And to your point, so they had played in the U.S. Open, I believe it was, and it was extremely lopsided.
Extremely.
And so came in and no one really thought that Serena was going to lose that match. But the thing that I noticed is because she had so many unforced errors, it seemed like she was hesitant as the match progressed to try and paint the corners and lines and things of that nature. So she was just trying to hit through the opponent. And so it was just going straight up the tee in the middle of the court with power. But her opponent had timed her very well and was
Mm-hmm.
able to push the power right back to her and then eventually do something and put an angle on it. So it was a tough match. She fought and at least came back and pushed it to 3 sets, but it just wasn't enough this time. So she is out, as well as Coco
Mm-hmm.
and Naomi,
And
because they had to play each
yeah,
other.
they play each other.
So one of them had to go, and Venus, so Coco played her, so she's out. But we do have an American left who I believe is playing Simona Halep, I think. And then there is, or I may have it mixed. It might be Halep and Muguruza.
Yeah, I think,
And then
Halep already played and she won.
she won. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I haven't checked the
Yeah.
scores. So
I think
she won, and then Barty must be then playing.
Keenan. Yeah, that's her last name. I can't. I have
What
to
is her
look
last
up her
name?
first name. Give her some props. This is her first. She's a very young player. I think she's like
She is.
19, 20, something like that. And she's representing for the U.S. She's the only U.S. player left in the tournament, either side. So
Yep.
I'm sending her good energy, girl. Keep focused and bring home a win.
Bring home a win for us. Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, so yeah, Halep plays again tonight against
Okay.
Muguruza.
Okay.
And then Barty and Keenan. Let's see if it has. Yeah, I don't know her first name either. They just. And here's the reason too. If it's not a big time player, when you look on ESPN, all they do is put the first
Okay,
initial
last, yeah, that
and the
like,
last name.
yeah.
I mean, that's how tennis is. Most people. I mean, you do
Yeah.
everything with the last name. So even on when you see it on the screen, it has S. Williams.
S. Williams, right, and a little American flag.
The little American flags. They make it hard for us if you're not a big name player so far. But yep, come on, America, you can do it.
You can do it, girl. And if not, she's done like such a good job so far. Like
Yeah,
like it's her
nowhere to
first time
go.
even make it to the quarterfinals.
Nowhere
So
for her to go.
yeah.
Continue to get better, keep working. So as far as Serena's concerned and breaking the record, I was talking to my brother and I said, in my mind, not that I doubt her, she just doesn't typically win at the French. I mean, she's won it 2 or 3 times before, but if you look at her career, the bulk of her wins are coming from hard court or either
Grass,
Wimbledon.
No,
So she's won the French a few times. So I'm not saying she can't do it, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, Wimbledon, here we go. Maybe that'll be, And then again, it's not because I doubt her abilities. It's just typically it's not her best.
Right, her best court. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, and I hope she proves me wrong. I would never doubt Serena Williams. I just,
Yeah, I just want this win for her so bad.
Me too. To get it off of her, and then she can play free, and then like break the record and not just tie it.
Yeah.
That's all I just want. She just got to get out of her head because much like you talk about Joker and his focus with her, it becomes her nerves. She'll play, and you just see her playing tight and
you
just
see it. Yeah, and she's doing like these like. I'm like,
yeah, you see her talking to herself.
Yes, every time when she talks to herself, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, just breathe. And of course, it's easier for me to say when
exactly.
when I'm not out there. I recently started playing tennis again within the last year, so it's so easy for me to make these comments, and I'm not on the biggest stage in the world with all the pressure in the world on me. I'm just going out there and I'm playing free because nothing happens.
Right, nothing on the line for you.
Yeah, I'm not getting a check either way. In fact, I'm paying them for the time to be out there. So whatever happens, and I'll go home and be fine. So my thoughts are also with her as she continues to train and to deal with her mental aspect of it, and hopefully sometime this season, she can make the pass. But I am going to try, fingers crossed, to get up to New York this year for the U.S. Open, because that's the other thing. I want to see her play in person, and I don't know how much longer she's going to play.
Yes.
She seems like she's close to retirement necessarily. She's still extremely competitive, but at the same time, you just never know when people are going to decide to hang it up. And I would hate it if she decided to end at like Australia, like Wozniacki did or something like that. And I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going out to Australia. So not for tennis. I mean, I'd love to go, but not for that specific reason.
Right.
So anyway, hopefully I'll get up there this summer and it'll be a fun time if I do.
Yeah. I would like saying I've been saying this for the last couple of years. I need to get through a match so I can see her in person before
and say that I
she
did.
retired. So that's definitely one of my bucket list items. So yeah, let's make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, we do. We need to make it happen. Maybe we can plan something. I know my brother wants to go too, so we'll have to see if we can't plan something to go. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we have, right?
That's all. Yeah. Because as we said, nothing was going. I mean, that was.
No, nothing was going on, and just the emotion of everything. I honestly, I don't even know that my head would have been really into talking about much more than we did. Yeah. Next week we'll hopefully be better.
Hopefully next week we will know who won the Super Bowl.
About how I'm now the champ. Now you can't be the champ because you lost, but just let me call it that. I will refer to myself as the champ next week if Kansas City wins.
Okay.
Just be ready.
Yes, I am warned.
You have been warned. Yeah, I don't need you to remind me of the record.
I'm not. You're the one. You would bring it up. I don't bring it up.
That's like that makes me think of that's like the check the scoreboard cheer. It's like when one player on the other team like dunks and they just start running around.
Like you like
it's like, do you not see that you're losing by 30 or am I looking at something different?
Right. Yeah.
Good for you. Congratulations, but at the end of the game, one team's gonna win, one team's gonna lose, and it's not looking good. So that's who I am right now. That's what you need to do to me when I say that. Check
the scoreboard.
Yep. I'm ready for it. I can take it. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thanks for tuning in to us once again. We appreciate you so much.
We do. And next week we'll try to bring more energy, be more excited to talk to you.
Yeah, and I have like a little cold thing, something going on, so that's just making it worse.
Yeah. Well, we'll be excited. It won't be so somber, and we'll be ready to talk about whatever's going on. So we'll see you next time.
Bye.